What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. We're here in Monaco for the first race of two that we have to do for this Grand Prix weekend in F2. We're jumping straight in to qualifying. Qualifying is the most important part of the Monaco Grand Prix, whether that be F1, F2, F3, anything around Monaco. Qualifying is the most important. Our first lap put us P3 behind Gunther, of all people, ahead of Aitken, but nonetheless we are on the soft compound tyres to give us a bit more advantage in the race. We were absolutely flying in practice, which is the reason. So we'll be a little bit behind, probably Albon. We come across the line to say where we come, and like I said, 3.5 tenths there to Albon. I'm going to fast forward the session. There's no point worrying about that, but we're going to see where we come up, and we're going to come P4. Some of you may be confused as to why that is. In F2, they run two different groups of cars, first drivers and second drivers. That way it makes qualifying a little bit easier in Monaco, and I'm pretty sure they're testing that out for Formula 1. See if it makes it a little bit easier, but nonetheless P4 isn't bad, and don't forget we've obviously got that tyre advantage over everyone else ahead of us and behind us. I'm pretty sure everyone did qualify on these super soft tyres, so you know, if we can carry forward our pace that we obviously had in qualifying to qualify that high up on the harder compound, then you know we can see what we can do in the race and possibly snatch a win. If not, at least hopefully going to get a podium. Anything less than that will be a bit disappointing for ourselves. But Arava and Ben there, looking over our teammate's car, making sure everything is perfect, and Nicholas Latifi there shaking hands with his engineer. But we're going to have a look at the grid and see where everyone else filters up. We've got a feeling George Russell is on pole, which obviously isn't good for us. We get 2 extra points for that. Ourselves P4, our teammate just pipping us there, but quite a bit to be fair if you look at it. But De Vries P7, pretty good from him. Aitken P10, not very good. He's struggling a little bit. Maxi Gunther P14, Sean Galel 16th, and where's Nico Carey? Oh, he's 19th this time, not 20th, which is fantastic. Which is a bit disappointing because I used to love Nico Carey, man. He was in my modded career mode back on F1 2017. But we are ready for the lights to go out, and we are underway straight away for the first round of Monaco. Albon got a mighty amount of wheel spin there, but he's actually going to try and go up the outside of Russell into turn 1. Ourselves, we lose up to Guido. We're going to try and get the switch back on him coming up the hill here. It's going to be very, very close. You can see we're a little bit faster than him. We're going to have to concede this position for now, I believe, and chuck it down the inside to get that position back. We just about slowed the car down, and we actually almost go into the barrier, which would not been ideal by any stretch of the imagination. Sergio set the camera just ahead, and Albon actually did make that move up into P1. So that was a fantastic move there from him. We're hunting down our teammate here on lap 2, and trying to see what we can do, and if we can get past him. We've got so much better pace, and stupidly the game put us on super soft tyres, so what we didn't qualify on was kind of made redundant. But nonetheless, we'll try and get past his cars as quick as possible. We've got so much speed. We're going to kind of go down the inside here, and he turns in on us and puts us into the wall. We've got no front wing. We've got a puncture on the rear right. Sergio, what are you doing, you absolute weapon? Like, he just turned in on us completely. Like, we had so much speed on him, and we had nowhere to go. If we didn't go for that move, we'd gone into the back of him, because he was going so slow through the swimming pool chicane. But now our race is ruined, and at the time I didn't realise this, but due to the regulations, you can't make your first pit stop for tyres, your first mandatory pit stop for tyres, before lap 6. So at this time I was like, you know what, it's fine, I'll go on softs to the end and that'll be that. I didn't realise that. I just didn't think. I knew the rule exists, but I just didn't think about it. Delatraz is out of this race here. He's just gone straight on there, but I completely forgot about this regulation. So moving forward, I just didn't think. I was just so annoyed by the incident. We set the fastest lap nonetheless, although ultimately it's not really going to count for much. But well, it's not. None of it's going to count for anything, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, we're going to push through here. My mindset I was at the time was like, I'm gonna get back up to them. I'm gonna catch up to them, and I'm gonna win this race. That was my mindset at the time. We get past the first batch of cars, leading Aitken out of the pit lane. We've got the pace. We know we've got the pace. We had the pace in qualifying. Even on the first 2 laps, you know, we had the pace. It was all over our teammate. Then the second gaggle of cars, a few cars are going to get ahead of us, including De Vries, and I believe that might be Latifi who does get out ahead of us. Markelov did definitely get out ahead of us. There's nothing we could do about that, just to the extra little pit stop time. Obviously we got about 5-6 seconds changing the front wing as well, which obviously wasn't great, not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. But you can see we're all up the back of the Vries. He's going to cover the inside, so I have to go all the way around the Vries. It's a very audacious move, to say the least. We get better traction on the exit. We give him plenty of space into the final corner, and it looks like he's actually gone into the wall there, so we'll have to see what happened. I don't think we made any contact with him, but as you can see, clambering all over the curbs. He defends the inside. I'm going to go around the outside here, and obviously want to get better traction. And it looks to me, yeah, we didn't make any contact. He just drives straight into the wall. Does young Nick de Vries. We'll probably see a little bit of a better angle from this. A beautiful racing between ourselves and de Vries. Like, no contact, easy as you like. And yeah, I think let's rewind it and have a look. So yeah, no contact even at this point. Yeah, he just drives straight into the wall. I mean, this is what you do, isn't it? So obviously that gave us quite a bit of a gap to Jack Aitken. De Vries obviously quite a bit away, and Latifi's the next car up the road. If he can possibly, try and mount an overtake. Looks like Russell is ahead of Albon on the track, and then our teammate Sergio Sette Camara, then Giotto, Markelov, and then obviously Latifi, ourselves, Aitken, and possibly Maxi Gunther. It looks like that's the order. Fukuzumi's probably just behind him there. But moving on to lap 19, you can see not a lot actually happened. We just didn't have the pace. I think halfway through that I realised, like, I'm not able to do that. But you can see here, we just went so wide. Like, we just wasn't focusing. We just wasn't in the zone. We was just so out of it. It looked like the the power mode from Formula E was there on the outside of the corner going into the hairpin. But you can see we've got Jack Aitken actually trying to make a move for position here. And we're going to entertain a little bit. We've not much else to do. He's going to try and go down or outside here. He actually scares us off the road, where we were too busy looking in our mirrors there. But again, it's all pretty redundant. There's not much we can actually do. We're going to come on to the final lap. Our tyres were pretty naff anyway for being on them for so long, so we didn't have much of an opportunity to try and catch up to the rest of the field, probably as we would have liked. But it was just super frustrating. Like, we had the pace to obviously keep these guys behind and all that, but obviously coming on the penultimate lap, we get disqualified, failed to use required compounds in conjunction with the mandatory pit stop, and that's it. They disqualify us, and then that's our race over. Unfortunately, there's not much we could do about that. I just didn't think, and obviously by the time I did pit, if I did make another pit stop, then that would have ruined the race for the sprint race, and then sort of ruining 2 races. It was just a bit silly, but what can you do? It's the second time I've been caught out by these regulations now. First time was in Bahrain. Obviously Spain was fine. We did well in Spain. Obviously in Monaco hasn't gone to plan. And obviously George Russell winning the race, getting pole position, most likely the fastest lap. The extra points there is really not going to help us out in terms of the championship. Obviously we've got a pretty decent gap to George Russell, but at the same time it's just not ideal. Jack Aitken P7. I'm not sure who's in P. Might be Gunther, as obviously we all moved up one position because I got disqualified. But fair play to George Russell. Obviously he lost the lead turn 1, and obviously he got it back through the pit stop phase. So Albon P2 and Sette Camara P3. Those are basically our 3 rivals. The only other rival I can think of is Markelov, but obviously he's not that prominent as a rival. He's not the one that we've got to look out for moving forward and stuff to that as well. But super frustrating stuff here in Monaco. Definitely one of the places where you don't want to make these mistakes. We're quarter of the way through the season after next race, so that's going to be something to look at the championship then and see how we are. A quarter of the way through the season more or less. But looking at the full results now, when the game wants to work sometime soon. There we go. Thank you very much, Codemasters. Luca Giotto P4, Markelov 5. Maxi Gunther in P8. Fukushima just missing out as well. If they got P7 and 8, that'd have been huge for Arden. Obviously, I think they got reverse grid pole in Baku, which obviously they struggled a little bit. But nonetheless, I just realised that what I said about the quarter way through the season is completely wrong. But nonetheless, we are still leading the constructors, but obviously not the drivers, due to our unfortunate what happened this time. We're quite a bit off actually. George Russell, it was really tight between ourselves, and obviously the incident here with our teammate that you're seeing now is kind of what condemned us in a sense. I thought the move was on. I don't think there's any reason to think that, and it looks like he just cut across us, which he did, but obviously at the same time I just don't know what more I could have done there. I was closing on him so fast. I was literally pushing him into that corner. I had nowhere else to go. But but you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. You'll see here from perfect example of what I mean about having nowhere to go. We're almost pushing him there. But nonetheless, guys, that's been it for this video. Hopefully the sprint race can be a little bit better for you guys and for ourselves, and we can get on the board a little bit. But if you have enjoyed this video, please do slap a like on it. If you're new around here, please do subscribe for more fun content coming out every other day or so. Until then, guys, that's been it for me. My tire is completely bollocks, but take care and bye.